You're on the Circles app tonight. This is where we host masterclass conversations like this with people who are going through difficult life challenges, and we're able to hear their story and learn from their story. Now, we might not specifically be going through what they're going through, but their story is going to inspire us, and we can take the tools and that same inspiration and apply it to our lives. So I want you to hold on to your seats, maybe get a notepad or a journal and write some of these things down as our guest shares with us tonight. So without further ado, our guest tonight is a licensed psychiatric technician at Patton State Hospital. She graduated Mount San Antonio College as a psychiatric technician in 2012. She lives in Pomona, California. She's an avid mountain biker and a member of who is represented in the house, the Bomber Crew mountain bike group tonight. So let's go. So, hey, friends, would you do me a favor? Let's show some love, that bottom right-hand heart button for our guest, Echo Lavelle. Echo, it's good to have you tonight on Circles. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It seemed like a very nerve-wracking opportunity at first glance, and then it kind of still is feeling that way. But when Jeff told me let's just have a conversation, so that's what we'll do. We'll just have a conversation.
Yeah. Let's have a conversation. I love it. Those nervous jitters, they follow us, right? It never goes away, kiddo. It never goes away. Well, I know there's a lot of people that has joined us tonight. I want to hear your story. What I'd love for you to do is just kind of unpack Echo a little bit. Tell us who you are, kind of your journey that kind of led you up to this point. Is that okay with you?
Sounds good. Okay. Well,
cool.
Really quick before I even start, thank you everybody that showed up and is tuning in. I really, really appreciate the support. Most of you guys have been supporting me since day one. So thank you guys all for being here. So with that being said, my name is Echo. I wish I had a cool story about why my parents decided to name me Echo, but I don't. They said they just wanted something different. So I have 3 siblings. I had an older brother named Jason. We called him Junior. He passed away 2 weeks before my 7th birthday. He suffered from kidney disease. He was diagnosed at 12, had a transplant at 15, and he lost his battle at 21. And then I have an older sister that lives in Texas. That is the infamous Miranda. That's in our chat. She's a absolutely phenomenal human being, and she's been such a huge support to me through even before this, but especially through this. Like, the girl has not left me alone. No offense, Miranda, I love you. But,
I love it.
Yeah. No matter what she has going on, she calls me before every single one of my chemo treatments to share a Bible verse and pray with me. The last treatment, I think she called me while she was in the nail salon getting her Mother's Day present done. So that was nice. And then last but certainly not least, I have a little brother named Bobby. And for those of you that know me, you know Bobby's like my little shadow, my right-hand man. He's 29 years old, so we're 4 years apart. But I like to say he's going on 10 years old. And I say that lightly to say that my younger brother has special needs. He has what's called Williams syndrome, and it's commonly referred to as cocktail party personality syndrome. So as you can imagine, with that sort of subname, he's extremely friendly. He has no sense of stranger danger. But he is one of the most genuinely happy people I've ever met in my life. And to know him is to absolutely adore him. He doesn't have any major medical issues, but he'll always need assistance, and I'll always be that person for him. Our bond is one of my favorite things about life, for sure.
I love it.
Right. And then there's my dad, my old man. He's our rock and has been there since we took our first breaths. We're actually neighbors. So I get to, peek in on him from time to time. I like to keep an eye on him because he lives with my little brother, or my little brother lives with him. And then let's touch on my mom really quick. My mom and I's relationship has been up and down my whole life. She was verbally and physically abusive towards me and my siblings growing up, and to this day continues to struggle with abusing substances. I haven't seen her or spoken to her in 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, overall, I feel at peace with that. Because I know sometimes the people who should be in your corner as your biggest supporters are just not fit for that role, and that's okay. So I think the harder part with my mom is my little brother and his lack of understanding, you know.
Yeah.
So that makes it a little bit rough. But so that's a little background of my family and kind of how I grew up and stuff.
I love it.
I am, as you mentioned, a psychiatric technician here in California. I work at Patton State Hospital. I've been there for 7.5 years, and I absolutely love what I do. Patton is a large locked facility for severely mentally ill forensic patients. So they have committed a crime, have been charged with the crime, or got acquitted of the charges. But as a condition of their parole, they come to us for treatment. I take a lot of pride in what I do, and I have a deeply rooted passion for helping people. I love a good success story and getting to be a part of that journey for my patients. It's not all rainbows and butterflies all the time, right? As you can imagine, but I truly wouldn't change it for the world. And I really can't wait to get back.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I wanted to touch on something you've already said a mouthful. I'm so excited to have you here. No, you're fine. You said something about family when you were talking about your mom, Echo, and how people who we believe should be there for us, but they just don't have that capacity.
Right.
Because most of us, most humans, will go through a hatred or a bitterness, or will hold some type of deep animosity towards those that, because we can never see them as they don't have the capacity. We only see them that as they should, and they don't. And that
Right.
makes it worse on us. Yeah? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. So
Absolutely.
exciting. So exciting.
Yeah.
Well, a big shout out to
So,
the entire Echo family.
right.
What
Yes,
a
thank you
crew.
guys.
Yeah, I love it. Talk
That's
to
my
us some more.
tribe.
Tell us some more.
Okay. So I went through what I do for a living. I enjoy it wholeheartedly. So, I mean, although I do get a paycheck for it, I enjoy going to work. Sometimes it's stressful, sometimes, it's not so bad. So, but I enjoy it. So that's the bottom line. And I feel really lucky to have a profession or a career that I thoroughly enjoy. Um, okay. So moving on from that, um, I want to go into how I found out about my diagnosis. So back in December of last year, 22, I started to notice a little pea-sized ball in my neck. I was just touching my neck one day for whatever reason, and I noticed there was a little ball in there. So I asked a couple of the doctors at my job, maybe a nurse or two. I asked around, and they said, "Oh, sometimes your lymph nodes get swollen when you've had an infection or are fighting an infection." I said, "Oh, okay. No big deal. I think I felt like I had an upper respiratory infection going on that time, anyways." So a couple more weeks went by, and I felt a couple more balls in my neck and in my collarbone area. And at that point, I started to get a little bit worried. So I was like, "Oh, let me just check it out and call the doctor." Um, Anybody that knows California healthcare knows it takes about a month to see your primary care physician, even when you make an appointment. So I in that month, I ended up growing a tennis ball sized mass under my armpit. And that's when I knew something was like, okay, this isn't just an infection. What's going on here? I didn't want to get on Google and start going down the rabbit hole of Google, trying to find out what it was. So I was actually pretty good at that. Um, I remember when I got worked up, it wasn't my primary care. It was a physician's assistant that I wasn't familiar with that saw me. And she used the word metastatic. And I couldn't tell you exactly what she said in the sentence with the word metastatic because that's all I heard. And to me, metastatic equals cancer, possible cancer, something with cancer, right? My immediate thought was like, if I get sick and die, who's gonna take care of Bobby? Like, who's gonna be there for Bobby, right? And my dad's gonna be so upset. My sister's gonna be so upset, and I just kept thinking all these negative things, right? I gave myself that moment. I didn't want to sit there for too long, but I allowed myself that time and space to just be sad. I think that was an important early intervention to my healing. Looking back, uh, I'm a very positive person. Everybody knows that about me. But the realization that being positive all the time is great and all. At the same time, you got to be graceful with yourself and allow those moments of torment to come and go. Because I feel like the more they're pushed away, the better chance of them building up and biting you later, right? So moving forward, over the next few weeks, I went through extensive workups, everything from CT scans and x-rays to pulmonary function tests and massive amounts of blood work. And I waited, and I waited. And then on February 28th, I was on a double shift at work, and I took a phone call in the bathroom. And my doctor said my biopsy came back, and I had been diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma. I had never heard of this disease before in my life. Maybe I had, I don't know, but it was just like, this is a different language to me at this point. So I'm like soaking it in. And my first thought is like, what, me? Like, I'm healthy. I've never spent a night in a hospital. I've never had a surgery or so much as even a broken bone. I'm knocking on wood right now. I was in total disbelief. I held it together at work for the next couple hours until my lunch break. And I immediately called my sister in Texas. She was initially really upset, and I remember her crying and saying that I had already been dealt such a crappy hand in life, and I'd been through so much that she couldn't believe this was my reality. And at that point, she reminded me of what a crappy hand I was dealt, but it sparked this uncontrollable fire inside of me, and I demanded another hand. I said, I want a different hand. This is not it for me. And it was on. The fight was on from there. I started talking to more of my close friends about it and kind of like opening up a little bit. And about a month after I went in to get my PICC line inserted. And I started chemotherapy 2 days after my 33rd birthday in April. And I joked with my doctor about the lovely birthday gift she set up for me. It's like, happy birthday, Echo, here's some chemo. I even got a room with a view. It was great. But at that point, I had made a social media announcement after telling my close friends and family. And the outpouring of support was absolutely incredible. I still have trouble wrapping my head around it. People I hadn't talked to or seen since middle school were sending in their prayers and good vibes. The support helped keep that fire inside of me that I was talking about, with my sister burning. And it hasn't had a chance to go out since. My coworkers helped me celebrate my birthday and my last day of work. They absolutely spoiled me with food and gifts. My mountain bike family, shout out to the bomber crew. The general is here in the house. Thank you for being here, Fred. They hosted an F Cancer ride at Holda Crooks which had like a super great turnout. It was so cool. That video put me in tears, honestly. And then Jeff, our wonderful host, started a whole like ride for Echo trend, and it really caught on. Quite a few people were sending me videos of them dedicating rides to me and stuff. So with that being said, anyone that's going through any type of difficult life situation needs support, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know why, as human beings, we're sometimes too prideful to reach for it. And I'll be the first to admit that I'm guilty of that. But this experience has changed the way I view a lot of things. And for that, I'm really thankful. Yeah, absolutely.
You said so much. The chat is lighting up. Friends, if you've just joined us, we're listening to our friend Echo Lavelle talk about her Echo. I don't even know if I can call it a battle. I don't know what it is. It's just like this little hiccup. It's like, nope, deal me a new hand. I ain't going down this road. We're not doing this. I'm not here. We're going to fight it. Yeah, I'm going to go through this process, but I'm coming out victorious on the other end, right? I love it. I love it. You said something that I'm looking back in the chat. You said something about getting another hand, being dealt another hand. If you don't mind, can you take us through a little bit more of that? Where did that resolve come from? No, this isn't the way it ends for me. Where do you think that came from, Echo, when you were first faced with the news, first flipped it, went through the sadness, but then found this strength to go, no, this is not my hand. How did you find that?
Well, I've never been one to fawn, I guess. I love challenges. I don't necessarily love this challenge, but I do. I try to find. I'm a a cup half full person, so I try to find the good in everything. Some kind of something good has to come out of this, right? And just I don't know, for as long as I can remember, I'll take anything head on, whatever it takes. And I think one of the biggest things, if I'm being honest, is my little brother. I just, I gotta keep going for him. I gotta make sure he's good.
I wonder. Go ahead, Echo. You're fine.
I'm sorry. And aside from that, I like life. I love life. And I just whatever it takes to get back to it, let's do it. Whatever it takes.
Anybody in the house tonight love life? You flipped my script, kid. I'm telling you. I sat through some things today, and I just look back at them in a flash, and I go, you got to be kidding me. And I was worried about that. Come on, anybody else in the house just dropped what you thought you were worrying about tonight? Oh, Echo, we so appreciate you. You know what? I was so profound that happened just as we launched our room, just as you started sharing your story. I get a notice on my app that a new cancer support room was created on the Circles app tonight.
Oh, wow. No doubt.
God, it was so profound. Yeah. Everybody loving it in the house tonight. Thank you all for being here. Echo, you're courageous. You talk about taking life head on. You make me think about the trails, right? The mountain bike trails. We come around the corner. If we've never ridden the trail before, we really don't know what's up ahead, but we come around and we go, oh shit, I'm either going to make it or I'm not one of the two. Right. And we find that courage to pull the trigger right at that last moment. And how victorious does it feel when we sail over what thought was going to destroy it? That's what I hear in your story. Yeah. So take us some more on the journey. Go ahead.
All right. So I went through a little bit of the journey. I don't know if I shared this in the beginning, but for those of you that joined a little bit later today, today's a special day for me because I had my 6th chemo treatment. So this morning, 6 of 12. So I'm halfway there. I'm at the halfway mark. And yes, and my body's responding in a major way, major positive way. The lymph nodes are basically completely melted away. You can only see them under a microscope at this point. So everything is looking good. I'm just excited to get back on the bike and back to normal life. I mean, as normal as it was before anyways.
I love it. Now, speaking of a bike, I caught a snippet of you. I caught a snippet of you on a bike somewhere in this journey. Were you able to get out a little bit and pedal one or two times, Echo?
Yes. So that'll kind of help me kind of flow into how it's going. Like how is everything, right? I get that question a lot. So man, my body, I don't know who made it. God himself put it together. I don't know, but it is a strong vessel, let me tell you. It is just kicking ass. Overall, it's mind-blowing. It's truly amazing what medicine and some good vibes can do. Of course, my style of mountain biking is out of the question, right? As you asked. I like to jump and drop and, whip my tail a little bit and skin up my knees. But so lately, just to get out on the bike, I've been going with my cousin and my little brother to Benelli. For those of you in SoCal, you probably have heard of Benelli. It's here in San Dimas, 10-minute drive for me. So it's real close. It's really smooth and, borderline boring, but it's an opportunity for me to get out and pedal. So that's what I've been doing, trying to go a couple times a week, just to get out of the house and get some exercise in, right? my friends, and the reason, so I don't know, for those of you that don't know, I have a PICC line in my right arm, which is like a permanent, semi-permanent way to deliver the medicine that they give me, without me having to get poked every week. So because of that, I'm not really able to use my right arm the way that I would, normally use it. So a lot of stuff that I like to do, like throwing a football, shooting a basketball, stuff like that, I can't do at this time. So I just got to find a way to do it.
Yeah.
My friends, I think I saw that my mountain bike sister is on Shiloh. Shout out to Shiloh. My friends and family, including Shiloh, have sent me like get well cards, and there'll be like puzzles and like paint by numbers and Lego sets and stuff like that. Shiloh just actually sent me something a couple weeks ago. Thank you again for that, friend. Just
You're
little,
welcome.
just anything to keep me busy. I did buy myself a PS5, and I have the game called Riders Republic, which is kind of like a mountain biking extreme sport game. So I live vicariously through that game and through my friends' my friends' videos on Instagram.
Yeah. I
Yeah, for
love it.
now. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Some days are rough. I have little to no energy at all. Sometimes I feel like I got hit by a truck. Other days I'm just really nauseous. Um, I held on to my hair as long as I could, but watching the lumps of it go down the drain after every shower was both a pain in the ass and heartbreaking. Thankfully, my head shape is nice, and I got some pretty sweet hats to keep me covered. So the hair will grow back. It's not a big deal. It was at first, and I still kind of struggle with it a little bit, but it'll be okay.
So
So
I just have to jump in, Echo. My heart is going off. Anybody else in the room, maybe too. We think life is moving forward. We have all of these plans. We have these experiences. And then we're blindsided out of nowhere by a crisis. We're experiencing that in your story. I'm still hoping tonight, friends, I don't know about you, but me, that I can find this courage and this strength that you're sharing with us tonight, Echo, to fight back and not just accept, but fight back. But I can only imagine that through this journey, you've had both good days, I'm going to make it, I'm victorious. Have you had any of those, oh shit, I'm not sure? And if so, would you mind talking a little bit about those, Echo, and your strength that you've been able to find in those moments to help you go forward?
Oh man. Jeff, because of the support that I've had and the fact that my sister doesn't leave me alone, it's I'm joking. Um, it's I do have pity me days. Okay. What that looks like for me is I sit on the couch and I play my video game. I don't listen to any music. And I just kind of sit here until my back hurts. And then I might get up and stretch out a little bit. And then I just like, oh, I can't go out and ride. Oh, I can't go do this. You know, just things that I would normally do to pass the time I can't do. And sometimes it just feels so defeating. And then I'll be like, well, I can paint or I can do a puzzle. And I'm just like, I don't want to do that. And I just kind of have like a little 3-year-old tantrum, in my head. And what gets me out of it is somebody hitting me up. Hey, how are you? Like, what's going on? How are you doing? Do you want to go grab some coffee? The support is where it's at. There's no dollar amount that you can put on that.
Yeah.
So that's what the days of pity look like for me, and the way that I get out of them is just embracing the support that's given to me. Because I mean, you can be supported and not embrace it, right? So like some of us can offer support to others, and if they don't embrace it, there's only so much. I mean, we're only going to push up on the wall so much before we turn around and walk away, right?
Yeah.
So I think embracing the support when it comes through and honoring it is a big factor as well. Because it's one thing to be supported, but are you honoring that support? Are you embracing that support so that it's beneficial to you? Because if you're not, then
and take me through that. I'm really curious. Let's dive deep just a little bit, Echo. How do I honor someone's support that's given to me? How do I do that?
You allow them. You allow them the space and the time of day. Um, if you don't feel good one day or 2 days or maybe even 3 days, remember to go back to them because they tried. They made the attempt to reach out and be supportive of you. So maybe it was a bad day that they reached out, and that's okay. You just got to follow up. You got to do unto people. It goes back to the saying that our parents taught us long ago: do unto others what you would have others do unto you. So,
Yeah.
um,
I just got a flash. I got a flash of you loving your brother that you've talked so intimately about already. And I got a flash of what you're doing for him, others are doing for you. Almost no wonder you're able to open that door and honor that. I don't know, God, Echo. I just got that flash when you were talking. I could
yeah,
see you pouring love into your brother, and while you're pouring love into him, I could see your sister pouring love into you, and your community pouring love into you. It's like this cyclical love potion, if you would, this love bomb that just keeps going off. But you're right. We can stop that love up by rejecting it, can't we? We can stop that support by rejecting it, can't
we
we? Yeah,
can discourage it. Um,
yeah,
for I'm pretty strong-willed. So when I support somebody, like I'll just keep going. But at some point, I'm gonna turn around from the door and stop knocking too. You know,
yeah, yeah,
unfortunately, I might come back and try another day, but you know, yeah, it's honoring yourself, and then it's honoring the people that are trying to support you as well.
yeah, yeah,
And when I say honoring yourself, I mean like feeling like you're worthy enough to receive the support, you know, because that starts
yeah,
from within, right? So yeah,
yeah. Feel
it's
like you're worthy enough. I'm dropping that in the chat. Feel like
nice.
you're worthy enough to receive. Yeah,
hmm
so
And
well
if you
said.
and if for some reason you don't feel worthy enough, then that's where you got to start. That's where you got to start talking to some people, and get some insight on why you feel that way. Because I think that everybody's worthy of support, no matter where you come from, what you're about. Everybody is worthy of some sort of support.
Yeah.
Um,
Did you just
so,
did you just hear that, friends? I wrote, my gosh, start where you don't feel worthy. Oh my God,
oh,
friend. I mean, I'm telling you, Echo. I
typo.
am. Yeah, probably. Yeah, start where you don't feel worthy. I mean, that's so hard as a human being. Because as a man, one of the things, men in the room, I know for me, one of the things that I don't want to do is I don't want to let you see my weakness because I was taught and raised that strength means that I'm always on, that I'm always positive, that I'm always okay. But what I just heard you say is to start where I don't feel worthy. How many in the room tonight can you think of a moment where you desperately wanted help? You desperately were crying out from the inside even to get help, just wishing somebody'd come along. And maybe they did, Starbucks, sitting at the bar, whatever it was, and they tried, but you shut them down. And that stems from not feeling worthy of that support that you're talking about, Echo. So if we could get, I'm going to use this term, if we could get like naked and not ashamed, right? Here's me. That's what I hear tonight, Echo. Anybody else in the house here?
Yeah,
Here's me. That authenticity shines through, kiddo.
yeah,
Yeah, so well
that's
said. Now, I know you have a huge support system. Can we talk a little bit about that? How you've already had the support, but now it seems like you have another layer of support coming around you and supporting you during this journey. You want to talk about that a little bit?
um, yeah. When you say other layer, do you mean like with this particular journey right now that I'm
Yeah,
going
with
through?
cancer, right. So
Mm-hmm.
you have had your support of your family, you've had the support of yourself, this one that
Right.
you love looking back at you.
Mm-hmm.
Now we've got cancer, now we've got news. Now support has kind of taken on a different role. You're getting support from people maybe that you don't know. Talk to us a little bit about that journey.
Okay. Let's see. My close friends, that I work with, started a GoFundMe, for me. And I've noticed a couple of anonymous donors and people that I didn't recognize their name. And when I would search their name up just to, see who it was, I didn't recognize them. And that just it's amazing. It blows my mind. So it blows my mind, but at the same time, I have donated to people that I didn't know. Like I think there was a guy maybe a few months ago that got into a really bad bike accident. He was part of the mountain bike community. He wasn't part of bomber crew or anything, but it's some sort of a bike accident, and it struck my heartstrings, right? Because he hurt himself on his bike, right? So I gave like my favorite number, which is 70. Oh, 7. So I gave money to that, but like how things come around full circle. How karma works in the good ways and the bad ways is just amazing to me.
Yeah.
And see, like people, I've been in the mountain bike scene for a couple years now, and there's some people that I haven't even known for a year, not even a year yet. They probably don't even know my real name is Echo, right?
Yeah.
um, but that have just so selflessly like have donated either monetarily or have just sent me messages about support and that I'm in their prayers. And I welcome all types of prayers. If you pray to Jesus Christ, if you pray to Buddha, if you pray to whoever it is you pray to, I'll take all the good vibes and all the prayers, because I respect it all, right? It means something to the person sending it out. So I mean, I respect it all and I appreciate it all. And it's just been, I don't know if humbling is the word. It's just, I still process it on a daily basis, honestly. I've never been in a position to need this much support. But you guys have shown up and shown out, like, especially the people here on this, can we call this a podcast, Jeff? I keep calling it a podcast.
Come, you call it whatever you want, Echo. This is your show, my friend. You call it whatever you want. Yeah. Live on the Circles app, right? Live on the Circles app, exclusively
Exactly.
on the Circles app. You been on other podcasts sharing your story, Echo, or
I have not.
oh my.
This is my first time getting naked, Jeff.
Oh my gosh. Did you just hear that, friends? Echo got naked on Circles for the first time ever. I love it. I love it. You are so inspiring. My friends, I've dropped the link to the GoFundMe for Echo. I'm telling you, I think there's only a few $1,000s left that they're trying to raise. And I know between those of you that are here and those of you that know people who know people who know people, our circles are big enough to close that gap for her and make this a hands down. Echo, I remember when my son was in the hospital and we didn't know if he was going to live or die. That support system that you're talking about is unbelievable. The energy that you receive. And I concur with the prayers. I'm with you, girl. Pack them up, put them in a box, and send them my way. I don't care if they come
Yes.
from the east, the Middle East, the underground, above ground. Just send them my
Right.
way. I send them my
Exactly.
way.
I don't care if they're in the form of a rock and a stone. You know what? Whatever you got.
Yeah. Send me a feather, a rock, a
Right.
stone. I don't care. Send me a little juice, oil. I don't care. I'll take it all.
I truly believe that has been a pivotal piece to this puzzle. Absolutely, is just the support and the thoughts that people come up with, and the things they send you and the things they say, and yeah. So it's been a ride. It's been an amazing experience. I'm ready to go back to normal life for sure.
Yeah. Talk to me about what's normal life look like you. Come on now,
Oh
kiddo.
man,
How do you
normal
define
life is
normal life?
like I love to work overtime. Anybody that's on here that works, we like to work overtime, except for when we're mandated to work overtime, right? So I want to get back to that. I want to save up and get myself an e-bike. I want to travel. I want to do some more traveling. I tell you, like, this experience has changed my perspective in many ways. And I'm just like, I feel like I'm gonna have a new lease on life, almost. And so my plan is to get back into school, finish up my nursing, and just work and ride my bike and travel. I want to travel. I want to go back to playing softball also.
I love it.
Just
I love it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Just a lot of little things that I didn't. I don't want to say that I took for granted, but I didn't realize how much they fulfilled my life. you know, um,
Yeah.
the little things, you know. So I'm just excited to get back to normal.
Yeah. What if I got to ask you this? Are you ready for
Mm,
this?
I think so.
What if normal doesn't look like normal used to look?
Oh boy. Then I'm gonna have some readjustments to make, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah, sheesh. I didn't think about that, Jeff. Because I'm just, things are just going so well right now that I just assume that everything is going to go back to normal. But that's definitely something that I would need to sit down and think about. Absolutely. What would my new normal look like, and how can I adjust it so that it's as close to my old one as possible? Or
Yeah.
maybe my new normal wouldn't be as bad, wouldn't be so bad. As long as I could ride my bike, I'll take any kind of normal I can get.
Yeah. You make me think, sometimes we hold, I just feel this in my heart. What if normal, the way it's always been, even in the depths of where we're at, is fighting so hard to get us to let go of it? Because in order for us to until we let go of it, we can't create a new, because we're
Hmm.
always holding on to what has been or what we wish could be. I,
Right.
I had a morning walk the other morning, Echo, in the field, in the trails, and I heard deep in my heart, Jeff, what do you want? If you could ask for anything, what would you want? And I paused for a second, Echo, because my mind is racing. Oh, I'd like this, and I want this, and I want this, and I want this. And then from deep within, I heard myself say, I would want to know what to ask for.
Huh. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would want to know what to ask for, because if I ask for something, boom, there it is. I've limited myself to maybe what's possible.
Right.
So maybe new, it blows your freaking mind. Maybe
Maybe.
new is a whole new leaf for you, your family, your relationships. And you thought life was great then. Wait till you experience it now. Hey,
Man.
maybe,
Maybe. That's what
maybe.
I'm aiming for, Jeff. I think just the mentality alone, it's gonna be a good new. Um,
Yes.
a good back to normal, but with a different outlook, a different mentality, um, and just a deeper, even deeper appreciation for life and everything that has to offer. And just taking all of that by the horns, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I love it. I love it. Hey, how about opening up the mic a little bit to our audience and seeing what their thoughts are, their comments are, their questions are? Are you down for that for a little bit?
Absolutely. Let the people speak.
Let the people speak. You heard it first, right here on the Circles app, friends, from our friend who's gotten naked for the first time on Circles Echo. So listen, let's do this kind of as we come along. If you have something on your heart you want to share, let's throw that hand up in the air, and we'll call on you. And let's open this up. Who better to open it up than our dear friend Adam Mock? Adam, it's so good to have you on Circles tonight. You're on the air with Echo, brother. Go for it.
I'm so stoked, Jeff. Echo, like when I first saw Echo, it's her smile that like captivated me. She just has this beautiful kind of like soul about her. But watching her go through this journey, hearing her heart on the Circles app right now, like she is a warrior, a conqueror through and through. I love seeing the community come out for her, and I really feel like this chapter of her life, people are watching and they are gaining strength from Echo's fight and her strength. Echo, I love you. I'm really looking forward to riding with you again. And she's right;
Oh,
she just
dude.
kicks her bike out all over the place, and it's fun to watch her. So, Echo, I'm still pulling for you,
I
and I
cannot
really
wait.
can't wait to be on the trails with you again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Adam, for your support. Always appreciated, and I will see you at Ride and Shine. I am there, bud. I am there.
Woo!
Yes.
Woo! Can't wait.
I love it. Hey, listen, I'm throwing it down, a challenge. You've heard it for the first time ever right here on Circles, and I really don't give a bleep. you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that worked for an elite e-bike company, you need to contact them and tell them that our friend Echo is going to put her butt right back on a brand new e-bike. And anybody who wants to sponsor that bike by delivering it to her, you cannot wait for the publicity that you're going to get and the impact that you're going to make in that young lady's life. So I throw down the challenge. Somebody's got an e-bike coming your way, kid.
Oh boy,
and you're not going to have to pay a damn cent for it, baby. You're not going to have to pay a damn cent for it.
That's right. Yes, speak it into existence.
I'm speaking it. I'm speaking it. I'm
Love
speaking it
it.
for you, kid. I'm speaking it. Hey, Fred, I see you in the house. We're so honored. Bomber Crew founder. Brother, come on and unmute yourself. You're on live with Echo on Circles. Go for it, brother.
Hey, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing?
Yeah, we're here for you.
All right. So, yeah, I mean, Echo's been just instrumental to, like, our crew, right? Like, we are a veterans and friends group, and she's definitely a friend, right? Like, a really good friend. I remember, like, early on and like, Facebook, she was like, well, I don't know if I can ride with you guys. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up. And I was like, just come on out and just ride with us. And then she did, and it was, like, an instant click with, like, her and everybody else. So, like, you know, I call her the Marshall Canyon Slayer. Every time we rode Marshall Canyon, she's hitting the jumps and always having a good time. There's so many videos of that on our Instagram page of her hitting these jumps and man, like jumping higher than everybody else that was there that day, you know, and stuff like that. So I just want her to know that Bomber Crew, myself, like, we are here to support you 100% with whatever it is that we can do. I'm going to try to make some calls with what Jeff just talked about maybe somehow getting some e-bike thing going. Maybe we can, like, raise funds for it or, you know, something like that. But you know how it is. Anything you need, you know, we're here for you.
Yeah, buddy. You know, I don't need an e-bike. It would just, you know, all of my friends have e-bikes now,
Hey,
so like I can't keep up.
you know,
No, I'm joking.
I
Actually,
do have a tow rope, so if you need that,
nice.
I'll tow you.
That's my guy. You're my guy.
For sure.
I appreciate you, Fred.
You
Listeners, if you don't know what a tow rope is, that's for those of us that ride what we call analog bikes. Those are bikes that you pedal yourself. E-bikes you do pedal, but they have an assist. They have a motor in them. So what we've learned is that you got to buddy up to somebody who has an e-bike if you're on an analog bike, especially if you ride Aliso Creek, you ride Laguna, ride Echo. And
Right.
what the strap does, the tow rope, you hook it on the e-bike and you hook it on your bike. And then as they go up the hill, they pull you up the hill. You got to do a little pedaling, but it sure is a hell of a lot easier to get up
Oh,
that
it's
hill.
a beautiful
Isn't it, Echo?
thing. It's a beautiful thing. Then I don't have to take a nap at the top before we go down, you know?
Amen to that. Amen to that. I'm with you. I was racing the Hold a Crook ride we were doing for you. I was trying to race Adam Mock up the hill, and he's got an e-bike, right? And I think he just let me go in front of him by half a bike or so to just make me feel good. But he's
that kind of guy. He's definitely that kind of guy. But you also have some iron legs, so if I could borrow those, that would work just as good as an e-bike too. You know.
I'm honored. They got to get some more iron in them lately, but we're honored. Faye, I appreciate your patience. Thank you so much, Faye. I see your hand. Go ahead, talk to us tonight.
Oh, no worries. Well, I'm Faye. I'm a really long time friend of Echo's. So you had said something when you were talking about, like, what kept you going. And I was thinking to myself, like, she better say it. She's a beast. Like, Echo's a freaking beast. So, I mean, if she's not doing it for a positive thing, she's doing it to prove a point to whoever the hell out there. But she's got this. You got this 100%.
Yay, thank you. Me and Faye have been friends for, I probably lost count, probably about 18 or 19 years since middle school, for sure. Yeah, so.
I'm only 21.
Been a constant.
Love you.
Love you. Thank you.
For all the support you're getting from everybody, and I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for being part of it. Appreciate you.
Awesome, Faye. Thank you so much for sharing. Hey, friends, you're listening in tonight. I'm curious about you. Let's talk a little bit about you. What has inspired you from Echo's story tonight that you go, Echo, Jeff, I'm going to do this now. I believe now I can do this. Talk to us. Somebody in the room, what are you going to take with you or from this conversation tonight? Talk to us a little bit about, raise your hand. Let me see you. And let's hear your thoughts. What are you going to take away from tonight's conversation that has inspired you the most? We stumped them, Echo. We stumped them.
Sounds like we did.
Echo is
friends,
showing
like
that
what
whole
have you. So thank
It's so
you.
nice
Like
to hear,
you do
honestly.
make a difference. You really make a difference.
And I'm really glad that like you had a good experience like that, because I feel like we mostly just hear the horror stories, like when people have terrible experiences. But
no, I mean
really
there have
nice
been
to hear
shitty
something
times. Yeah, no, I always say my sort of motto in my own life is like, okay, I can share something negative, but I'm gonna follow it up with two positives.
That's,
Yeah,
I like that.
I love it.
Who's our grab some ice chips over there? My mouth is super dry. Sorry. I can also apologize to you in advance. My dad used to tell me that when I was growing up, he could tell I was either getting sick or sick if I talked a mile a minute. And I'm like, is this the ketamine? Because I don't feel like I'm making any sense at all.
We appreciate you. We
I
appreciate
am.
you being on.
Saying it's making sense.
Yeah.
I
Thank
feel
you.
like I'm
Is
tripping over
Rachel?
my words. I don't feel articulate.
No,
it feels
Rachel?
so weird. Normal,
Rachel? Okay, sorry, could grab her attention. All right, folks, I apologize. Rachel, thank you so much for sharing. I think you may have been sharing and not knowing you're sharing with the whole group, but we appreciate your support. Faye, we thank you for you. If you touch your hand, that'll go down. And then Laura, I see you patiently with your hand up. Thank you so much. Come on the air. You're live with Echo on the Circles app. Go for it.
Well, Echo, thanks for the encouragement. I often can, apply the encouragement to mental health struggles that I go through. And I know people with cancer often go through similar battles. And so I just thank you for the encouragement.
Oh, absolutely. And I hope something I've said today kind of sparks something in you to, reach out for support when you need it, and just you don't have to feel alone. Feeling alone is an option. You don't have to. So
yeah. Thank you. And I'm going to continue to pray for you.
I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, hon.
Yes, thanks. Indeed. Thank you. You said it's an option. What did you just say, Echo? Something is an option. I loved what you just said.
Suffering or going through something alone, it's optional. You don't have to. Technology has grown so much. You even if you feel like you don't have any friends, or you hop on the Circles app and you can chat with people or listen in on other stories, from across the country. So I think it's really cool, the outlets that we have nowadays, to assist us with mental health and other challenging times that we experience.
Yeah. Going through struggle alone is optional. Friends, I put that in the chat. So well said, Echo. Thank you. Miranda, I see your hand, and then JC, I see your hand as well. Miranda, go ahead.
I in no way want to take anything away from my sister and just the powerful message that she's been able to give us tonight. But I do just want to say one thing to you, sweet sister, is that your courage and your strength is astronomical. I'm 7 years older than you, but the strength that you give me by just your daily efforts, you received the very worst from our mom, yet you triumphed. You went to college, you graduated, you have a great job. You got diagnosed with stage 2 Hodgkin's lymphoma, and you're like, I got this. My body will respond. My body will be healed. My story's not done being written. You're just incredible. And I'm so honored to be your sister and to know you and to be able to love you. You're just incredible. And so, Jeff, I personally just want to thank you for giving her this opportunity to just share her story. I don't know that she's ever done this, and she has a gift. She has a gift to share with this world of like, yeah, life sucks sometimes. You're not dealt the hand that you think you should have gotten, but here's what I can do with it. there's nobody that can write that story better than my sister. And so I just want to say, kiddo, I'm proud of you. God is healing you each and every day. And Jeff, you said something else too about like, maybe your new normal is going to be something you couldn't even fathom. And I believe that for her. Because good enough is not good enough for her. So hang on, sister, because it's just going to get going for you.
I love you.
Yeah.
You're the best. And I didn't mean it when I say you bug me every day and you don't.
I don't care. I'm still bugging you, and I don't care. Because I'm in that circle, and when I ask you how are you doing, I really want to know.
Yeah.
And and you got to draw a circle around those people. Some people will ask you how are you doing, they don't want to know. You draw a circle around those people who, when they ask you how are you doing, and they really want to know, you tell them, because we want to know. So
yes, ma'am.
I love you, kiddo. Okay.
I love you. Thank you.
Thank you, Miranda. I just want to pause for a second. We're going to get to Jace. JC's, I see your hand, but just pause. Take the moment in. Let it do what it's supposed to do. Deep breath in. Let it out. JC, thank you for your patience. Go ahead and unmute yourself. You're live on the air with Echo.
No problem. Thanks, Jeff. First, I just want to say thank you too for being such a gracious host. I can tell you're really passionate about about these interviews and getting the word out with these people and everything that they're going through. So I can really see it in your voice, and it's really allowed Echo to just speak and share a story. So I just want to thank you first of all. And I want to say thank you, Echo, for allowing me to come on and sharing this link so I could listen to it. I just a little background. Can you guys, everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, you're good. Loud and clear.
Okay, just a little background. I work at Patton State Hospital also with Echo as a site tech, and I've known her just for a few years or so. I came on to the unit that she was working on knock shift, and she would do overtime on the knock shift, and even though she was AM shift, she would come in. Sorry, I'm a little choked up, but she would come in and do everything for the unit. Even though it wasn't her particular shift, she was such a team player and helping with the patients, going out of her way to do things that weren't even within her scope, helping and to fix the wheelchairs and things like that. And then she took on extra roles, being a conference coordinator, to be involved with the patients and talk with groups, even though it wasn't she wasn't even, she would, become a facilitator with groups and she didn't have to. And like I said, everything today, it's just Echo, she goes above and beyond, and she's such an awesome person and some person that you'd be definitely, a good person to know. Well, coach over my words, but I'm just happy that, I've kind of been able to get to know her a little bit more. Even though, we're not super close, but everything she's talking about for us, being gracious with how she's allowed, people to, support her, and she's done that with me, and just I'm glad that I've been able to do this, and I won't take away more time, so I'll let someone else speak. I just want to say I'm grateful to know her. Thanks.
Thank you, Jace. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Jace, for sharing. We appreciate you. Thank you very much. Lots of love coming your way, Echo. Lots of love in the room tonight. Thank you, friends. I'm holding the room open. Our time is already over, but I'm holding it open a little bit longer. Could everybody please just make sure your mic is on mute for me? And that'll make sure that we avoid that background noise. Perfect. Thank you so much, everybody. Somebody else, last comments, thoughts, share your thoughts, sentiment with Echo. Doug, I appreciate you. Thanks so much for your patience. I see your hand. Go ahead, unmute yourself. You're live on the air with Echo.
Hi, Echo. It's Doug. How are you?
Echo, I think you're on mute now. Echo, go ahead.
Echo, this is Doug. Hey, I just wanted to say thanks for sharing your story. Very inspiring, and wishing you the best. I was I was in such disbelief after being on one of my biggest adventures in my lifetime on that Palm Canyon epic
Oh,
with
that was
you.
amazing.
Yeah, that was so amazing. And I'm still in kind of disbelief. I'm like, how could she have done that? I mean, it was only like shortly afterwards that you got your diagnosis.
Right.
Um, yeah,
That was my
so.
last big ride. I said that would be my last big ride, and it was. It was before I had the pig line inserted. So,
Oh,
yeah, I was diagnosed already, and I did have some mild symptoms from it. But
oh, you were
yeah,
diagnosed already. Oh, I didn't
yes,
know that.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I hadn't started chemo yet, but I had been diagnosed at that point. Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's even more amazing to me, but
Thank you.
I'm going to second Adam Mock. I'm looking forward to riding with you again. Um,
Absolutely.
really, for me, there's nobody more fun to ride with than Adam Mock.
Right.
So hopefully, we can get out there again, and I'm all for the e-bikes. Trust me, e-bikes just is going to make it more fun. It's going to help you recover
Yeah.
faster too, I think, because e-bikes just are more fun.
Yeah, they are.
So, yeah,
That's the bottom line. They're just more fun.
they're just more fun. It makes for a
Right.
fun day, and
Yeah.
hopefully would help your recovery too. So,
Yes,
anyway, that's all I
absolutely.
wanted to say.
No
I
worries.
just thanks so much for sharing. That's
Oh,
so cool.
thank you for your support, Doug. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
welcome.
Yeah.
Awesome support in the house, Doug. Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, I
Sure.
love it. It just is a testament. I think Echo riding Palm Springs Epic. In fact, if you don't know Palm Springs Epic, oh my gosh, you've never, I don't know if you've ridden Ride Echo. That is a hellacious trail. I did that. Somebody invited me along, and I thought, yeah, no problem. I could do this. I was on 3 miles of hell, that sand wash that takes you up to the
Oh
big
no.
dump truck. And
Yeah.
I literally, kid, I rode 20 feet and had to sit, and there was no place to sit except in the middle of the sun. And I thought they're going to have to helivac me out of there. It
Oh
was the
boy.
most hellacious. But you know what the greatest part was? Is when I finally, and we went up Art Smith. So we're another 3,600 feet of elevation
Oh
coming
boy.
down Art Smith. And some guy, he sweeped. I mean, he was ideal sweep, and he stayed with me all the way. And I'll never forget, an hour and a half later, everybody's been eating pizza and drinking beer, and here I roll in. Biggest smile on my face. I thought, yes, I did it.
Yes.
I did it. So
Well,
I echo that.
it's such a huge accomplishment to complete that trail. Um, you deserve a beer at the end.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
tacos and whatever else you
And
want.
tacos, exactly.
indeed. Anything you want after you accomplish that trail is phenomenal. Friends, you're listening to our very own warrior. Her story has inspired us. Share some love for Echo in the house tonight. I want to thank each and every one of you for being on the Circles app. This is the first time Echo shared her story, and I'm so honored that she shared it here. Each and every one of you being here, present to listen and to share is also amazing. I want us to take this thought with us tonight from Echo. She's going to give us a last word here in just a moment, but I want you to take this thought with you. Struggling alone is optional. The foundation of Circles came into being because Irad, the CEO, his mother was dying of cancer, and unfortunately, her cancer, she couldn't beat it, and it ended up taking her life. But he recalled when he was going to visit her, he tried to encourage her, and although it was helping, he noticed that it was still lacking. And he walked in one time, and his mom was on the phone with a friend of hers who was also going through cancer. And he said, Jeff, she was alive. She lit up. She was connected to this other person because they got her. They knew what she was going through because they were going through it. And hence burst the idea for Circles, helping people go through what you've been through. That's what the support rooms are all about. Anybody can download the app. Anybody can create a profile, and you can listen in a room. And then if you feel so boldly, you can launch your own room at a support level where everybody 24/7 can log into the Circles app and get support. So I'm honored to be a part of them. I love what they're doing, the mission, everything about it. And we get to have incredible guests like Echo come on and share their story. Echo, leave us with some highlights, 2 or 3 things you want us to take away from our conversation with you tonight, love, please.
All right. Let's see. Summarize. So, first things first. Just because somebody is blood or is supposed to be what you feel a support of some sort, or what you feel that they should be, doesn't mean that they're the best person for that role, and that's okay, because you don't want to have the wrong person for the job, right? It could be a detriment. Another thing is another highlight that I want to share is just, reaching out for support, even if it's something silly or you feel like it's something silly. If you need support, reach out and get some support. And if you're unable to find support within a small circle of people that you trust, then maybe, do it anonymously through the Circles app. Like Jeff said, you can just listen in, and, it's optional to chime in at the end, and, find some inspiration somewhere, because you don't have to battle anything alone. Again, that's optional, and don't choose the option to suffer.
Yeah, don't choose the option to suffer. I love it. The option to suffer. Friends, you're asking already in the chat, where can I find the audio file for this? And I am just, everybody you send us your vibes, you cross your fingers, you light candles, whatever you do, but make sure you do it, because this is our first ever recording. Now, you would think that's interesting in this day of technology, but the app is so intricately built. The development team is constantly around the clock making sure that they improve. And the switch to turn it on to record was lit up tonight. And we're just going to believe that it captured all of this brilliance. I've dropped my email, jeff@circlesup.com, in the chat. Make sure you copy it and paste it, because when we close our room, all of this is going to go away. So if you're interested in receiving a copy of it, please send me an email and let me know you would like a copy. And then also, people are already dropping in the chats different ways to contact Echo, different ways to contact us. Thank you, each of you. Don't choose the option to suffer alone. I have to finish my thought in the chat, Echo. Don't choose the option to suffer alone. I want to give a shout out to my friend Janine, who also, Janine Marie Powell. She's a phenomenal facilitator for Circles, but she knew Echo was coming on, dropped something in the on me that she had the same type of cancer that Echo is going through now, and that was 20-something years ago, right, Echo? That was encouraging
that was
for her to share
amazing.
that with us.
I love when the universe does that. That thing where it's like, it's a coincidence, but it's like, oh gosh, okay, this is written in the stars somewhere,
Yeah.
Love those
I love
moments.
it. I do too. Friends, we've come to the conclusion. Rachel, thank you for your shout out. He who has a why to live can bear anyhow. Nietzsche said that. Such a powerful quote. Such a powerful quote. And pain is universal. Suffering is a choice. Friends, you've been listening to our dear friend Echo Vell. She's a warrior. She's a survivor. And what I cannot wait, my friend, is for you to be riding the hell out of that new e-bike, and then come and share your story again. We'll have to find a stopping place on a trail someplace, you and I, and we'll have another conversation in hindsight after this one's all over. What do you think, hey?
That sounds like a really good day. That sounds like an amazing day. Yeah.
We're going to do it.
Absolutely.
All right, friends, that's our time tonight on the Circles app. If you've loved what you hear at the close, you're going to be able to share your thoughts and feedback. Will you please send your positive vibes in that little message back to Echo, back to Circles, thanking them for this type of opportunity. If you like what you hear tonight, you can follow me. And when I have a new room opening, a new interview like this, you'll be notified. I do want to give a shout out to Adam Mock, who's in the house. I want to give a shout out to Admiral Fred, who's in the house with the bomber crew. Thank you for showing up. I want to give a shout out to Miranda for sharing such a deep, heartfelt response to Echo. Thank you for all of Echo's family who is here and not here. And thank each and every one of you for joining us tonight on the Circles app. That's our time tonight. Good night, everybody. Thank you, Echo, for being our special guest.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.